It's a terrible football show, all right?
I want whatever you guys are smoking right now.
Come on, Shane. OH. OH.
Io, baby,
go.
yeah! Shane, I swear to God.
Welcome to a terrible football show.
That's my quarterback and my teammate, man.
Ruins my fucking holiday every damn year.
Alex,
What up?
you can thoroughly kiss my ass.
Why not let us decide the top four?
Yeah, let a terrible football show
Let a terrible
decide the top four.
Fuck you, Shane.
Roll Tide. Have a good one, guys.
Oh,
Have a good one.
Yeah, he's got to go. Get him out of here. Get him out of here.
I like that Baker Mayfield and myself, man. He was baking it up there in the Browns, and it just turned into a big old shit pile. So,
Get that right. I will fly you out and take you to a game in Dallas of your fucking choice.
Oh, shit. Yeah, he's successful at just giving his terrible opinions, so why can't I? It's a terrible football show after all. Welcome to a terrible football show, episode 63. The boys are all here. We got everyone here. Boys, how we doing? How we feeling? Missed a couple of you last week.
Yeah, I got a little hung up on work.
Yeah, you've been doing you've been doing a lot of good things here recently. So shout out to you. How's everything going?
Busy.
Yeah, I feel you. Work's been busy as hell for me too. I feel you, my guy. What about you, Jacob? How you feeling, man?
I am sunburnt, if you can't tell on the camera. My whole face, my arms, and my calves are burnt to a crisp already in the month of April.
Good luck for the rest of the year, my guy. Good luck for the rest of the season.
Last Tuesday, I got sunburn as well.
It wouldn't
And,
be bad if there was clouds, but there's no clouds at all. It's just sun, and my skin, man, oh, it sucks being a ginger.
Right. Hey, Ricky,
I
what
also
about
had
you?
my
Go
also
ahead.
had my first terrifying experience being on top of a roof
Oh.
last Tuesday.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah, so of course, as probably the entire nation knows, Arkansas got hit by tornadoes, quite a few of them. So I was at a homeowner's house, and for whatever reason, even though from the ground you can see that there was a tree through this man's roof, clearly some damage, all right, some severe damage. He was wanting me to get up there and take pictures and see if there was damage. That was his words, not mine. And so I got up there, right? I take a step off the ladder onto the roof, and I hit a loose fucking shingle.
Oh no.
And I slid. If that tree wasn't in the roof, like if that tree wasn't there, like in the roof, I probably would have fell off that fucking roof.
One or two story.
It was a 2-story.
Oh.
Oh man.
Nice.
That
Nice.
that would have been painful. That would have been painful, my guy. I'm glad you're okay. I'm glad. Well, at least you got your first scary experience out of the way. Might not be as scary next time, but I'm glad you're okay, and I'm glad nothing else happened out of that.
Yeah, I scraped up my knees some because my dumbass chose to wear fucking shorts that day.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's a pain. Rookie, how you feeling today, my friend?
This is probably going to be the highlight of my week, boys. The last couple of weeks have been tough. Been very tough.
Yeah.
Come to find out, we had a water leak in our house.
Oh no.
They just left maybe 5 minutes ago. I have my basically I'm in my recliner because my back room where I usually have a desk and everything like that, where I usually
Right.
sit up to do podcasting, everything like that. Over half the floor is gone right now. They demoed a lot of my drywall. They demoed a lot in my daughter's bathroom. And it was just a tiny leak. And my water meter did not pick up any sort of leak in the house, and it's usually very good because I've had a couple of leaks since living here, just here and there. But
Yeah,
this one
right.
was this little one turned out to be it's pretty bad. So yeah, let's just say the homeowner's insurance company got called, and yeah, they're going to be out here on Friday to assess what damage was done. So yeah, a lot going on right now.
Oh, dude, that absolutely sucks. I've
Absolutely.
I've been there with home troubles, my guy. I've been there with home troubles.
I
My
told
last
my
house was
wife,
freaking
and I
cursed.
quote,
I'm convinced.
I told my wife, and I quote, I will never buy a house again unless I build it my damn self or, get a contract. I ain't going to build it myself. I'm not that mechanically inclined. But unless I get someone to build the damn thing for me, because, oh my gosh, this house is 30 something years old. And yes, do not buy a 30 something year old home unless I put this one up for sale, because then you're going to have some new shit in it. So yeah, you'll be all right.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, my last house literally cursed. Like the day I moved in, literally the day I am moving stuff into my house, AC goes out because of a Freon leak. And I'm just like, you gotta be shitting me. Like I'm literally moving in today. Oh, my last house was so cursed, man. I can't even begin to tell you the bullshit that happened at my house. And I had a new neighbor move in at one point, super cool guy, big 49ers fan. I would chat with him all the time, and he would just like, man, it's just like the contrast between like my life over here and yours over there is just wild. Like that over there seems like a third world country compared to my house. We're right beside each other. I'm like, I know, man. This house is literally cursed. I don't know what happened to this home, but it's cursed to the absolute max. Oh, geez, I'm glad to be out of that home. And you know what's funny? Whenever I was debating on where to live, where I am now or there, I was actually debating it, even with all the troubles that happened over there, right? Just because that was a great location, stuff like that. And then my final straw happened, where it's like I think my breaker box had to be replaced, and I'm like, all right, yep, that's it, I'm out. Like no more. This shit is cursed. I'm done. I never want to deal with this house ever again. I
Yeah,
feel
my
so.
father-in-law has kind of put something on now because there's been sort of a we don't know where I'm going to be moving next as far as my Pepsi career goes, but he says he told me today, he's like, I bet they're going to call you in a couple of weeks and say, hey, now we need you to move back.
Yeah.
uh, and I'm like, ah. So yeah, a lot of fun,
Well, we're gonna have a lot of fun today, I hope. Today we
yes,
got
please, yep, let's
mock
do.
draft 4.0s. Next week we're gonna be doing the 7 round mock of each of our top 2 favorite teams. Then, of course, after that, the draft. Which before the draft, we will speed run our 5.0s, our final for the year. But the big focus for that one, of course, is just having a great time with the draft, having some guests on and stuff, having a lot of great conversations. Can't wait for it. Before we get into the 4.0s here today, a couple things I want to shout out. Shout out number one, fuck PFF for getting greedy out of nowhere and locking almost all of their major features for their mock draft system behind a paywall. Fuck that, greedy bastards. There is like obviously no one on the planet that's happy with that move. I didn't even know that move happened until I pulled up the mock today, and I saw that I can't even do a 7 rounder anymore unless I pay for it. So that's really annoying because that was my go-to because it made a nice little image for me. Now I'm using a mock draft database is now what I'm using. So, and then the other thing, what'd you boys think about the Sunday ticket prices? You guys see them?
I haven't
No,
seen
I
him.
haven't.
All right, I'll shout them out here for you. I got you. Don't worry. All right. Sunday ticket prices did come out today with YouTube. All right, so for the YouTube TV subscribers, and for you guys to have context on that, YouTube TV is about $73 a month after taxes, so probably about 78ish is kind of my guess, but that's a price range for YouTube TV. It is $349 a season or $250 a season if you purchase before the 6th of June. All right. Now, if you want to bundle it with Red Zone, it is $389 or $289 if you purchase it early. If you are a non-YouTube subscriber and you just want to buy it with YouTube's premium channels, it is $450 a season or $350 if you buy it early, or it's $490 or $390 with Red Zone, $390 if you buy it early. Those are the prices they announced here today. I don't feel like it's that much different than what it was at DirecTV. I want to feel like the $250 price tag if you buy it before June 6th and you're a YouTube TV subscriber, I feel like that's a good price tag, personally. Like, I genuinely do, because I like, with YouTube, with a Sunday ticket, you could always get like your first year free, whatever, with DirecTV. And then, next year you'd have to pay. But if you like did some shenanigans, like try to threaten to leave or something, you may can get it like a discount price or something. I know my boss done that. I've done that. I know you can do something like that. But I mean, either way, Sunday ticket. I mean, I don't remember the actual price. Shane, would you happen to remember that?
No, because by the time I got with AT&T, we were steering away from DirecTV
I
as far
figured.
as like the satellite.
Yeah, you were going with whatever
we
AT&T
were
has.
we were pushing their streaming
the streaming.
services.
Yeah.
And the Sunday Ticket didn't come with the stream. Like you couldn't get it on there. Like it was only with the DirecTV satellite.
So stupid.
So no, it was never packaged with that. So it was never familiar to me as far as the prices goes, and as far as a customer, I've never bought it. Had Red Zone, but I only had Red Zone, and that was when I was with ATTU verse.
Yeah. Well, how do you guys feel about this price?
I mean,
Go
just
ahead.
from a somebody that's never bought it or even looked into it, to me it sounds kind of high, but I don't know what the price used to be.
The reports are coming in that it's about $100 more than what it was with Direct.
Okay.
I don't know if that's just because this is a brand new deal with Google for YouTube TV,
Right.
and they were with DirecTV for so long, so they were probably able to lower their price over time a little bit. But
Well, one of the things with DirecTV, though, guys, is DirecTV is starting to lose a ton of subscribers. And a lot of that has to deal with some of the local channels that they've been having deals with. I think the biggest one right now is Fox. If I'm not mistaken, Fox, you can't watch Fox or DirecTV right now, or it might be CBS. I can't remember. But they've been going back and forth with even some of these local networks that even carry some of the major games like the NFL or college football that's coming up in this current season. They're actually DirecTV's had issues for years dealing with things like the NFL Sunday Ticket, local channels,
Yep.
things of that nature. So it doesn't surprise me that the NFL Ticket or whoever runs that streaming, if it's the NFL or whoever it is, whatever streaming is, doesn't surprise me they found a new home, and it also doesn't surprise me that the price went up. But I think a lot of that, the reason the price went up on it is because the streaming service for YouTube TV, the fees for them, they're probably getting a lot of a lower deal than what DirecTV was. DirecTV is like, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do it, but we're trying to stay cheap, and we're just gonna, cut you in half, and that way we can get a bigger piece of the pie. I don't think YouTube TV is gonna get that big of a piece of a pie from it. You may see a 50-50, 60-40 deal in favor of the in favor of NFL Red Zone, NFL Ticket, and everything like that. But with YouTube TV still being a very young streaming service, I don't see them getting that big of a piece of the pie right now. But then again, I don't know because I don't do the NFL Ticket or anything like that. It's very good for those, like the Red Zone is very good for those, which we all do fantasy football. It's very good for fantasy football because you'll get to see who scores right that off the bat. But if you're like me, just go on ESPN and see who scores. That's all you got to do.
I mean,
Right.
I mean, it's good for sports bettors too, right? Because then they have
True.
access to
oh
everything.
yeah,
Yeah.
So, but I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, as far as that goes, I mean, for one, let's all agree. I mean, within the next 10 years, I think cable's going to be gone regardless.
Yep.
It's
Yeah,
all going to
cable-
be streaming. It's
yeah.
all going to be streaming services. It's not going to be. I think Xfinity will go out of business. Comcast, all that bullshit will be gone, unless they come out with their own streaming service. But yeah, I think YouTube made this move and Google made this huge move to get Sunday Ticket in order to bring people over to YouTube TV. And I think that they're trying to get more people to watch YouTube TV or their streaming service. That's why they kind of probably made this push to even make this deal go through.
I love YouTube TV. I've had it
I do
for
too.
about 2 years now, and it's fantastic.
I plan to
I've had-
swap to it because I do plan to pick up Sunday Ticket at the $250 price. Because in my opinion, out of all the price they laid out, everything is expensive to me except the $250. Because I know like the cheapest that Sunday Ticket ever was like what $130 if you're a college student. I think that was it. That you had to specifically be a college student and you could buy it for $130. But other than that, guys, I'm pretty sure it was actually pretty fucking expensive. Because my grandmother did buy it for me 1 year back, way back in the day when I still lived with her, and I remember it being pretty expensive for her. But I mean, in my mind, the $250 price tag, good. Everything else, that's a little high. You know what I mean? Like I could swing the $250, but everything else, I'm not so sure about. At least that's
I mean,
that's me. That's my opinion.
I mean, if anybody's listening to this post live, I mean, leave it down in the comments. Let us know if
if you bought it and you
if you knew if you bought it back in the day and how prices compare to now.
right. Like I take out the the 250 YouTube subscriber price. Take out that. Just pretend that's not an option. Yeah, the 350, and stuff like that. The 450 if you're a non YouTube subscriber. That 450 for sure, and the 490 with Red Zone. I definitely think that's more than what it was before because I think it was at most about $400 for the season. I think I could be very wrong on that. Again, unless you're a college student, you can get it for like 130 ish. But I don't know. I mean, like I said, across the board, kind of expensive. But the 250 price tag, if you're a YouTube TV subscriber and you bought it early, I think that one's acceptable. That's the only one that is.
Here's the problem though with this is the fact that YouTube TV has a 4K add-on that you can buy.
I saw that.
But the NFL doesn't do 4K. They barely do 1080p. All their normal games are 720p, except for the important games, which is 1080p.
Mhm.
So that completely just wipes out. If anybody subscribes to that 4K quality, then matter.
Right.
Kind of sucks because that's me.
Oh,
yeah,
are
I
you
mean, but
subscribed to the 4K
you'll see
one?
that change. You'll see that change within the next 2 years, though. I think they'll.
I think it's going to be based on how many subscribers they can get, though, Jacob.
Yeah,
I think-
more than likely.
I think if they get enough subscribers, I think, like Shane said, within the next year or two, you'll see changes.
Yeah, and I would say that as well because, like, I mean, relating this to a completely separate industry here, like in terms of the 4K, it's kind of like with video games, right? Which you guys can probably also kind of agree with. Like, we saw the evolution in gaming where 4K started to become more and more a prominent thing, and even still today with the current generation hardware, where we still see limitations with 4K where things just still may run 1080p. At this. So it's one of those things where 4K is still, it's readily available in terms of television and stuff, but I still feel like it's slow getting going still across the board. Gaming, TV, movies, sports. I still feel like it's getting there and it's there already in certain categories, especially in the more TV and movie side. I would say is kind of already in that realm. But like in the sports realm, the gaming realm, like it's there in some capacities, it's there and it's also not there. You know what I mean? Like the evolution, we've continued to see it as time has gone on. So I think we'll continue to see it here with the sports stuff, at least in my opinion.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I think 4K is still in kind of a. I want to say development stage because that'd be the easy word to use. But I mean, in a way, it is kind of that way, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, if you think back to it, once all these new resolutions kind of start coming about, they all kind of do that, right? Like it's good here but bad there.
Yep.
Like you remember when HD was like first hit a thing?
Yeah.
Like they use that as a major selling point
Mhm.
on movies or shows that could hit HD.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm swapping over to YouTube TV, and I'm gonna hit it up at that $250 price tag. I'm currently with Hulu TV, is currently what I use, and ultimately YouTube TV will be cheaper for me anyway. Grand total a month, I'll still be spending more than I am now, but not by much, by like $10 or so, because I'm not getting rid of Hulu. I'm downgrading it to the Hulu, Disney Plus, ESPN Plus package. It's $20 a month, no ads. I cannot do the ads. If there's an ad-free plan, I'm likely paying for it. I'm just being honest. So gonna do that plan, then the YouTube TV, which is cheaper because Hulu. I have like the max Hulu package, which has got the Disney Plus, ESPN Plus, Hulu Live TV with no ads for like Hulu and Disney Plus and stuff. And after taxes, it's like $92 a month. So it's up there.
Still cheaper than any kind of cable you can get right now.
You right there.
Yeah, and the good thing about YouTube TV is too they just raised their prices, but it was the first time they raised their prices in like 3 or 4 years. So I mean, it takes a while before they even think about doing it.
Yeah, Hulu just raised theirs last year. I think it was December. I was paying. It was like $84 a month, and it went up to that 90, 92, whatever.
Just want good internet out here.
Hey, you're getting there, bud. Slowly but surely. I can't wait for the day that you do get internet out there, and we here on ATFS can have just a very memorable and emotional moment of silence for your little hotspot box you use and just how it worked for you as long as it has. Like, we're gonna have to give that thing like a Viking like funeral send off kind of vibe. You
Hey,
know what I mean?
I will pay it off and we can blow it up live on ATFS.
Let's go. That thing has come in clutch. I just want everyone listening to know that this man has been using a hotspot box the entire time he's been on
The
ATFS.
entire time. And it's only failed, knock on wood. Well, yeah.
At
Knock
most,
on wood,
to count
it's
on
failed a
like,
couple of times.
yeah, only a couple times. I can only think of about maybe 5 times off the top of my head where it's like it either failed or just had an issue. You know what I mean? So I gotta give that props. That's a lot of episodes you've been on. So,
And I still owe a little bit more money on it, so.
all right, boys, we feeling 4.0s. Ready to get into it? Knock this bad boy out.
Do
Let's get
it.
All right,
Let's do it.
let's do it, boys. All right, 4.0s. Let's jump into it right off the bat. Number 1 overall, Carolina Panthers. How we feeling, boys?
CJ Stroud.
From?
The Ohio State sucks university.
Well, at least he said the
Ooh.
part.
Oh,
At least he said
Ooh.
the part.
yeah, he said the copywritten part, so that's fine. I still have them taking Anthony Richardson.
So I actually do as well. I have Anthony Richardson
Oh.
going at 1 because I truly think Carolina's going to prove to the world they are a poverty franchise. I don't believe he's the first
God.
overall pick. I think this guy is a bust no matter where he goes in the
No.
first round. But I just have a feeling it's going to be Anthony Richardson. Or I'm out on CJ. It's going to be Anthony or Bryce. My gut's telling me that right now.
I'm thinking it's either going to be Anthony or Will.
I think Will's going to slide potentially. I think that's a real possibility at this point.
Yeah, I think I'll agree. I think Will's gonna slide into the top half of the second round.
Second round?
Mostly because
I don't know about that.
Yeah,
But anyway.
I've heard things. I've been listening to.
I have heard some negative stuff.
all-
I'm with you on that. But wow.
Yeah, I've heard some things that people are comparing him to. They just see him as a thrower, not a passer. They pretty much saying that he's a gunslinger.
Fair.
And teams aren't really wanting a gunslinger these days. They're wanting a quarterback that can do it all.
Now,
Um,
I have heard the talk where people do not believe Will Levis is a first round talent. So I do see your point there, but people just think he may go first round just because a team will be desperate. You know what I mean? But he's not a first round talent. So I do see your point there.
I mean, I was listening to Joe Klatt yesterday or 2 days ago, and he put it the best way. He has no lay. Like the way he put it, his exact words. He has no layers to his pass. It's every ball is as hard as you can, every single time. He doesn't know how to put touch on it here and there. He doesn't know how to deliver it different ways. It's the same slice of bread every single time. And that's something that you see with the 2 top end quarterbacks, Bryce and CJ, that they can spin it different ways if they need to.
Right.
But with that being said, I have Bryce Young going number 1 overall.
Okay. Number 2 overall pick, Houston Texans. How we feeling, boys?
I got them
got
taking
Bryce.
Bryce Young.
Bryce Young.
I was very, very close to not even having CJ put it here. If we would have done the show yesterday before the OBJ trade was announced, I did not have CJ Stroud here yesterday. I had a trade with Baltimore up in the 2 to 4 range, and Baltimore taking CJ.
Yeah, that's what I had last week.
But yeah, I have CJ at 2.
Okay. 3rd overall pick. Where are we looking on that one?
I got a trade.
Me too. What you got?
The Cardinals receive the number 11, 41, and a first round pick next
Titans.
year.
All right.
The Titans receive the number 3 pick, and they pick up CJ Stroud.
Okay. That is a very valid possibility. I think I pitched that last week or the last time we did it.
Yeah, I mean Arizona's really not completely desperate, so I could kind of see that, but I just don't know. It's so hard to tell if these desperate teams that are desperate for quarterbacks. I don't see why you would trade up for a quarterback this early. That's just my personal opinion. I don't. I'm not saying they're not going to do it. I just wouldn't do it. That's just me. I've still got the Cardinals taking Will Anderson.
This is my thing. At this point, really, this is your really last option to trade up, right? Um, if you're a fan, like for my opinion, for my draft board, Bryce and CJ are already off the board, right? Two top quarterbacks already gone. So if you're still highly regarding Anthony Richardson or Will Levis, this is really your last option before they could start coming off the board. To get ahead of somebody, right? Um, so I actually have a trade here as well. I have Indianapolis trading up only one spot. For one, it's not going to be as much as if they were to get that number one pick, like what we thought they would back, before the Carolina trade. But they block other teams out. That's the most important thing I think from here. And I'm not gonna lie, I stole this from Joe Klatt because I really like this idea. They trade up to 3. They get Anthony Richardson. At 3. Because I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's all of the people I've been listening to and articles I've been reading. But I'm actually starting to be an Anthony Richardson fan for a first round pick.
Shane.
Okay. I don't know what
Oh,
it
Lord.
is.
Shane.
I don't know what
Lord.
it is.
Oh,
but
boy.
I'm actually here for it, okay? Because
Shane.
honestly, if he
Lord.
fixes his slight accuracy and inconsistency issues, he very well could be the best quarterback in this draft.
I could agree with you on that. I'm not gonna lie.
But here's the issue, guys. You cannot teach accuracy.
Yeah, I know. I said that like
Yeah.
4 episodes ago, but I know. But for some reason, if it just happens, if he gets there with the right quarterbacks coach, the right offseason trainer, and the right situation, and I think Indianapolis may have that. I mean, he could be a damn good He could be a damn good quarterback. Like his floor is so low, but his ceiling is so high.
Right.
You're not wrong.
For me, I do have a trade as well, but mine is not super extravagant. Mine is just a pure desperate play here. I have the Colts trading up 1 pick out of pure desperation because I really do think the Titans are going to be in play there for that 3rd pick. I said that weeks ago, and I still think that's a thing now. I think the Colts are going to pull a Bears in the 2017 draft where we went up from 3 to 2 and draft our bust of Mitchell Trubisky. But in this case, Indianapolis will not draft a bust. They're going to draft probably my favorite quarterback in the draft with C.J. Stroud from The Ohio State University at number 3. All right, 4th overall pick. How we feeling on it?
Well, I would have Arizona here, and with them getting some additional draft compensation from that trade that I had, I even thought about them trading back again. Honestly, I think if they were super, super smart and had a giant 5 head and had a really super deep board as far as defensive linemen, I could see them trading back again. But I don't have that. I have them selecting Will Anderson with the 4th pick.
I have the Indianapolis Colts here, and I have the 4th quarterback coming off the board, and Will Levis.
I also have Will Levis.
For me, with Arizona here, I've got them just taking Will Anderson Jr. that they could have easily drafted at 3, obviously. But like I said, I think Indy could be potentially desperate and try to move up that single spot. 5th pick, Seattle.
I got them taking Christian Gonzalez from Oregon.
I almost went with that too. But I have Christian Gonzalez going way later in the draft right now. I think the Seahawks roll the dice. Pete Carroll's a criminal. He's going to take a criminal, Jalen Carter.
I really toyed with that one. I'm not going to lie.
I have them getting Tyree Wilson.
I have him getting Tyree as well. I think Jalen's in play here, and it wouldn't shock me to see Jalen go at 5th, but I think Jalen's going to slide just a little bit. 6th pick, Detroit.
My stepfather gave the criminal nickname to Pete Carroll. That's why I call him the criminal.
Wow, little fun fact story there for you.
So
I have Detroit taking Will Anderson.
I have Detroit taking Devin Witherspoon.
Devin
out of
Witherspoon
Illinois.
as well.
I have them taking Christian Gonzalez.
Okay. The Las Vegas Raiders at number 7.
I
I'm
have
sticking.
them. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I'm sticking with Peter. I've had Peter in all 4 of my drafts. I'm sticking with him. I think they're gonna take it off. I think they're still gonna take an offensive lineman, but I still think Peter Skoronowski is coming off the board here.
I got them taking Paris Johnson Jr. from the Ohio State University.
See, and I wanted to put Paris
Same here.
Johnson Jr., but I don't know. I don't know.
I actually have every single offensive lineman sliding in this draft. So I have the Raiders taking Devin Witherspoon here.
Yeah, Paris Johnson for me. Falcons at the 8th pick.
I have them taking Tyree Wilson.
Christian
I do as
Gonzalez.
well.
Who do you have them taking, Alex?
Christian Gonzalez.
I have them taking Miles Murphy.
I still firmly believe he's got a slide coming. I've got him sliding once again.
I've got him sliding badly.
Yeah. All right, 9th pick, the Chicago Bears.
Jackson Smith Dejigba out of the Ohio State University.
Jalen Carter.
Okay.
I don't want that anymore.
That's why he said it.
I was flopping between 2 people. I was flopping between Peter Skoronski here. But I do think that with him being here at 9, I will agree with Jacob. If he gets past this this legal trouble and somehow gets back into shape because he came back into his pro day and combine overweight. I mean, we all know this kid could potentially be the best player in the draft. And to have him at 9 overall with the draft compensation that Chicago received, I have them making an additional move in this first, second round. Because of that, they take Jalen Carter.
I don't disagree with just the sheer talent and how the dominoes would fall perfectly for Jalen Carter being there. And, with everything that we did, I definitely agree to that. But I also just think that we're going to focus on O-line personally, just based on free agency and what we've done and what we're planning to do with the offensive line, where we signed Nate Davis, Cody Whitehair's moving from guard to center, Tevin Jenkins is moving from tackle to guard. We're going to start Braxton Jones from The Ohio State University over at tackle, who played pretty well last year for a 5th rounder. So that leaves a tackle spot in my mind. Like we're looking at tackle. I heard some rumors and reports that the Bears are doing extra homework on Darnell Wright from Tennessee at tackle as well. I think Mel actually had the Bears taking him here at 9. That dumbass.
Yeah, he's actually flown up everybody's draft boards.
I'm going to go with Broderick Jones still, tackle from Georgia. I still think, I think Peter Skoronski is one of the best linemen in the draft, but I just genuinely believe the guy will be a better guard than he would be a tackle. Ideally, perfect scenario, Paris Johnson sitting here. That would be a perfect scenario in my mind, but Broderick Jones is also a great pick here that I like. 10th pick, Philadelphia.
I got them taking Peter Skoronski here.
I've got them going to Kalijah Clancy out of Pittsburgh.
Once again, I was choosing between 2 players, Peter Skoronski or a skill player. And I think bringing this player in immediately helps them, especially with losing Miles Sanders. They draft Bijan Robinson.
It has been a legitimate conversation piece. For me, I've got the slide has stopped. I've got Jalen Carter going here. I feel like Jalen Carter, if he slides down to 10, he's not making it past 10. I kind of just got that from, from that where he's no longer taking meetings outside of teams in the top 10. That kind of tells me if Philadelphia may have told him, hey, if you're a 10, we're taking you. So that's just kind of my personal take. So I got Jalen Carter going to Philly at 10. 11th pick, Tennessee Titans. Or,
Joe Porter
got to
Jr.
trade for someone here. Joey Porter.
I was
like that.
debating a trade as well, especially if, like on my board, Will Levis is still available here. And for some reason, Tennessee just says, fuck it, we're happy with Malik and Ryan, or we're happy with making a trade later on in the year or for whatever it may be. But I do have them taking Quentin Johnson here at 11.
Okay.
I've got them taking Anthony Richardson.
Okay. Fell into their lap there. That was something I had to think about quite a bit. Is that if Tennessee stays at 11 and one of these quarterbacks falls in their lap, do they pull the trigger or not? I thought about that quite a bit because in my board right now, I still got Levis on the board, for example, and I ultimately opted against it. I think the guy that Tennessee would want to go for is obviously Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud, in my opinion. I think one of those guys is who they wanted. Obviously, where they're at now couldn't get it. The trade didn't happen, so I think that for now they're going to continue to run with Ryan Malik. Maybe get a quarterback in the later round of the draft as well, because there's a lot of good quarterbacks throughout this draft. So for me, I just have them beefing up that offensive line with Peter Skoronski here. 12th pick, Houston Texans.
I got a trade.
Okay.
Texans switch with the Packers here, 12 for 15. Packers pick up Jackson Smith and Jigba from The Ohio State University.
Okay.
That'd be the biggest middle finger to Aaron Rodgers.
It
Sorry,
really
brother.
would be.
That's the
It
point.
really would
That's
be.
the point, dude. That is the whole point.
It definitely really would be. I have the Texans. I have the Texans still taking this. I have them take Quentin Johnson.
I have them taking by what I've heard from everybody. Now, I don't necessarily agree as of right now because I don't really watch the Ohio State. So,
You should.
but I mean, everybody and their mother seems to think that this guy is the best receiver in the draft. I have the Texans selecting Jackson Smith and Jigba
Same here. I got
from
Jackson.
the Ohio State University.
I got Jackson going at 12 to basically what three of us have Jackson going at 12. That's the bottom line, regardless if it's the right team or not.
And that's the bottom line.
Yeah.
The Stone Cold said so.
All right, 13. The Jets. I think we're all going to safely assume this will still be the Jets pick. I see no chances of going to Green Bay at this point.
Yep.
I think the last I heard, you could see it in the second or third round, but
Yeah.
not in the first round.
I haven't taken the tackle that's flying up people's draft boards, Darnell Wright from Tennessee.
I have them taking tackle as well, but it's Broderick Jones.
I wanted to go tackle. I wanted to go tackle here, but I went with edge. I've got Lucas Van Ness.
Me personally, I agree. I think no matter what the Aaron Rodgers trade is, I think they'll still have this 13th pick here. And they're going to do something to help out Aaron Rodgers immediately, whether that's offensive line, whether that's running back, receiver, tight end, something. It's going to be something on the offensive side of the ball, I think. And this is where my offensive line kind of drought stops. They take Peter Skoronski, Northwestern.
Okay. New England at 14. I will say, with how mine played out, I really toyed with Will Levis here because I really think that Mac Jones is out of New England. That's just kind of my general vibe. But I did end up going that way. I went with Joey Porter Jr., cornerback from Penn State.
I have them taking Zay Flowers from Boston College.
I have them taking Paris Johnson Jr.
I as well have New England taking Paris Johnson Jr.
Green Bay, 15. I got Lucas Van Ness. I did toy with a receiver here or even a tight end. I think I could see like a Michael Mayer I could see here, but I think Lucas Van Ness sliding here because I think Lucas Van Ness is a top 10 talent. I think any team would be very happy to grab him in the mid-rounds. Unfortunate for him, though. I feel so bad for the guy. Grew up a Bears fan. Drafted by the Packers. Worst nightmare. Well, he's getting paid a lot of money, so that's okay.
I got a trade here. Previously, this was Green Bay, but Green Bay traded with Houston. Now Houston is trading with Tampa Bay. The Bucks get this 15th pick. The Texans get the 19th pick. Tampa Bay selects Darnell Wright from Tennessee.
Okay. I have them taking Michael Mayer. Green Bay taking Michael Mayer, tight end Notre Dame.
See, I've had Michael Mayer the first 3 of my drafts. However, there's been a lot of talks about Dalton Kincaid overtaking that top tight end spot.
Look, I'm telling you, the dude's a freak at receiver, man.
I am going to say that they're going to pass on Michael Mayer, even though I've had Michael Mayer the first 3. The first 3 drafts I had Michael Mayer. I think they're going to pass on Michael Mayer, and I think they're going to take Dalton Kincaid.
Love it. I love Dalton.
Mine's opposite, and I'll give you the reasonings here. I had Green Bay taking Dalton Kincaid at least 2 of my first 3 drafts. But this is where I'm differing. Michael Mayer is a better run blocker, a better pass blocker. They're going to want somebody like that to help that offensive line and an Aaron Jones. That's why I have them taking Michael Mayer.
That's respect.
Yeah. I love Dalton Kincaid, though. In this mock draft here today, I do have him as the first tight end off the board for me personally. We'll get to that here soon. 16th pick, Washington.
I have them taking Devin Witherspoon from Illinois.
I have a guy that slid on that. He was a highly touted offensive lineman. He slid off some boards into the second round. Now he's starting to kind of pick back up into the late first round. I have Osiris Torrance, guard for Florida.
So this is another situation of in how mine played out. Will Levis was still on the board, and I still went against Will Levis, and I've got them going cornerback Deontay Banks.
You think they're going to be running with Sam Howell?
I really do. I think they're going to run with Sam Howell. Yeah. I will say if Will Levis or any quarterback, really that's on the board at 16, they're going to be tempted to pull the trigger, but I think they're just going to hold back from it. Personally, in Washington's case, but
I'll be honest. If there's any team that's going to pick him up, it's going to be Washington. I think they might pick up Cam Newton in the offseason.
That is true. I agree to that 100%. All right, next up, Pittsburgh at 17.
I do want to say this. I think if any of the quarterbacks, other than CJ or Bryce, if they fall outside the top 10, I don't think they will be selected in the first round.
Definitely a possibility.
I think the reason reason for that is teams are going to start thinking, right? They're going to start thinking, okay, 11, Tennessee didn't select them. Okay, 12 didn't select them. 13, 14. Okay, why aren't these teams picking up these quarterbacks if they're available at 16, 14, 11? Like, if these 3 teams didn't pick them up in these spots, why aren't they picking them up? They must have seen something in the tape, must have been something in the interview that caused them not to pick them there. So that's why I think especially if they fall past New England, Washington's going to be like, okay, yeah, we're not going to take him because there's obviously something wrong, and you can wait. You can wait. Especially if you have some additional draft capital, you can get back into the mid to early second round and get him, and still be safe with getting a key piece and helping your overall team. But with that being said, I have Pittsburgh Steelers selecting Joey Porter Jr., which is still by far one of my favorite picks if it was to happen in the draft.
Me too. Just because of the family ties.
I have Pittsburgh. The slide officially stops for a 1 Miles Murphy.
I have Miles Murphy going even down further
Me
than
too.
what you do, but I have the Steelers taking Joey Porter Jr., and I have the Commanders taking Christian Gonzalez.
Did we skip you on Washington?
You
My bad.
It's okay. It's okay.
I thought everyone
was
got their
gonna wait.
pick in. I
I
thought
was gonna
everyone got
wait.
their pick in. My bad.
I'll take that blame because I kind of jumped in there with my explanation on the quarterbacks, and then I kind of just jumped to 17. So
No, you're good. You're good.
All right. 17 for me for the second year in the row. Pittsburgh is drafting a Pittsburgh kid with Kalijah Cansey. D lineman who it could be the best D lineman in this draft when it's all said and done, in my opinion.
And
Detroit,
That's why I have him going to the Eagles, my friend.
which I love that pick, honestly. I think Elijah Cansey, I mean, he's a guy that could sneak into the top 10 personally. I don't think he will just because of all the quarterbacks that could go in the top 10 and a couple offensive linemen and stuff, but it wouldn't shock me if he went in like the 10 range or whatever. All right, 18, Detroit Lions. I've got them going Nolan Smith, edge rusher from Georgia.
I have them going Deontay Banks, cornerback from Maryland.
I have them going Darnell Wright out of Tennessee.
Well, in my previous boards, I had a cornerback going here to Detroit, but with the recent trade of Okuda,
Yep.
his name.
Yep.
That's why I have them taking a corner at number 6. And with this one, they're getting somebody to help Aiden Hutchinson on that defensive line, taking Kalijah Cansey.
Love it. All right, 19th pick, Tampa Bay. I'll go last.
I got another trade here.
I don't have a trade. I just have a surprise pick.
I also have a trade.
So this is Tampa Bay technically for me. Or no, Houston. Houston
Yeah.
got this pick from Tampa Bay, who got
Yep.
that pick from Green Bay.
Okay.
Houston trades with the Minnesota Vikings here to
Okay.
swap first round picks. Minnesota selects Quentin Johnson.
Okay.
Okay. I will say one thing. If they're trading down so many fucking times, they're getting additional draft capital. They're not just swapping.
No, yeah. There's a lot more that I have going into it, like second, third, and next year picks. But
Okay. Because I was about to say, if they're just swapping, there's no point in that. They're not going to do that.
Yeah.
But I know you're a smarter man than that because you almost predicted the Falcons trade. Okay, almost.
it can still happen.
It's not going to happen.
I'm not taking it out of
Um,
the intro.
But I have a trade here. I have Chicago taking this pick from the Buccaneers and mimicking the second place Eagles team from last year, taking a second Georgia player, Nolan Smith.
I like that. I could see us being aggressive.
I have the Bucks on this pick. I have them taking Brian Branch out of Alabama.
I will say, unfortunately, spoiler alert. I hate it. I really do because I love the guy. Brian Branch is absent from my first round mock this time. He's always been in there at like the Jacksonville spot or something, or maybe even Cincinnati, but he is absent from this one, unfortunately. I will say, with that said, though, this man will go like first 5 picks of the second round, if not for top 10, at most. But anyway, Tampa Bay for me got a shocking pick here, especially when you have another notable name on the board. I have Tampa
what this
Bay going quarterback Hendon Hooker out of Tennessee.
Woo! Love it.
Hendon is getting a lot of first round chatter right now, boys. I think he's going to slide into the first round in those later picks. And I think Tampa Bay could be a team to potentially pull the trigger.
I think if someone's going to pull the trigger on Hendon Hooker, it could be the Bucks. It would make a lot of sense. And I know we're not to the next pick yet, but the Seahawks could also be another one that would take a Hendon Hooker in that situation. I like the pick. I really do.
I'm glad you brought that up. I'll go ahead and lead off with the 20th pick because I did think about that. The Seahawks trade out of the pick. I did think about that because I really do think Hendon Hooker is going to slide into the first round. I think 19, I think 20, I think even 23 is a possibility with Minnesota. I think that's potentially what maybe even I know they just signed Derek Carr. That's right. Yeah, I would say 19 and 20, maybe 23 are the 3 sweet spots for him to potentially get into the first. So with the 20th pick, I have Seattle trading out of the pick. Are you okay over there, bud?
Something fell. I don't know what fell.
All right, as long as you're okay. I have Philadelphia getting a little aggressive here and moving up 10 spots to draft Bijan Robinson, running back out of Texas.
Okay.
So on Hendon Hooker, I just want to go back to that personally real quick. I also have been reading and listening to a lot of people being really high on Hendon, and by what I'm reading and hearing, there's 4 or 5 teams that could potentially take Hendon Hooker over an Anthony Richardson or Will Levis if they've fallen this far. So really from 16 to the end of the draft, you're looking at Washington, New Orleans, Minnesota, Seattle, and Tampa Bay all being viable spots for Hendon Hooker to land in the first round. And the reasoning because with him being hurt, he's probably going to sit out this first year.
Yep.
So it gives them an extra year to have him on the team, especially if a team with a somewhat veteran quarterback or an established quarterback that's been there for a little bit can kind of show him the ropes while he's rehabbing and continuing to get better. It's probably the best situation for him.
Makes sense for Tampa Bay then, because he'd be sitting behind Baker Mayfield.
Yep.
Yep.
And me personally, I was actually speaking to Alex about this before y'all joined the call. I was about 3 seconds away from pulling the same kind of thing, and having him go to 20 or 19, but to Minnesota.
Yep. Minnesota trade up. He did tell me that.
But with the 20th pick, I have Seattle staying there and taking Zay Flowers.
I have Seattle taking one of the better players to come out of the Senior Bowl, center John Michael Schmidt from Minnesota.
Shout out to that one. I like that pick.
Good pick. Good pick. I also have Seattle keeping this pick. I've got them taking Deontay Banks out of Maryland.
21st, LA Chargers. I've got them going Jordan Addison, wide receiver from USC.
I also have them. Yeah.
I have them taking Bijan Robinson, who is going to be, unfortunately, yet another running back that's going to be underdeveloped at the Chargers.
Unfortunate.
Yep.
All right. 22nd pick, Baltimore. For me, the slide has stopped. I have them going Miles Murphy, edge rusher from Clemson.
My slide is still not stopped for Miles Murphy.
Fair.
Had the Ravens not taken OBJ, I was going to put a quarterback right here. That one quarterback that Jacob likes out of Stanford, I was going to put him here.
Tanner,
But since it looks like Lamar is going to stay, and I'm just, this may never get to Lamar Jackson, but he needs to hire an agent this next year. He's not franchise tagged again. That way, quote unquote, his little underpaid or whatever. Cause anyway, I have the Ravens picking Will McDonald IV out of Iowa.
Iowa State.
I have the Ravens going even more gun ho in the offensive weapons. I have them taking Jordan Addison here.
I toyed with that idea too.
Yeah, if on my board I didn't have the receivers and all these people taken already, I really toyed with having a receiver here or maybe even a tight end to pair with Mark Andrews. But I have them taking Lucas Van Ness, edge out of Iowa here. But yeah, again, I was speaking to Alex. I was gonna copy his 3.0, and having Baltimore trade into the top 6 and grabbing a quarterback because up until yesterday, a day before, it looked like all signs were Lamar's out of there.
100%. So we're all on the same page now that Lamar's gonna be a Raven, right? Like that's just that's what we're
I'm
all
still
feeling.
leaving the door open.
I'm leaving the door cracked. I have it cracked.
No, I think they closed the closet door and bolted it.
At least for 1 year.
At least
for 1 year.
Yeah.
At least for a year. And honestly, if you want to be if they franchise tag him a second year, do you know what the estimated amount is for the franchise tag next year? It's like I think I heard it was like 48 between 48 and 52.
Oh
million.
my Christ.
Yeah.
I feel so bad for anyone who's got to tag a quarterback next year.
Yeah. That's a lot of money.
All right. 23rd pick. So for me, the slide has stopped. Quarterback Will Levis, Kentucky, going to the Minnesota Vikings.
I like
the trade chain has officially stopped for me. This is the Houston Texans for me, and they take Lucas Van Ness from Iowa.
Okay.
I've got the Vikings taking Nolan Smith out of Georgia.
Who'd you have, Alex?
Will Levis. The slide has
Will
stopped.
Levis. Okay. Only I like that pick, but also dislike that pick because I don't know. I Will Levis. After I heard that I forgot who it was, but pretty much depict Will Levis the way he depicted him, and he was showing the game tape and breaking him down. I was like, okay, I don't know about this. But anyways, with that being said, I got them taking Deontay Banks, cornerback out of Maryland.
Okay. 24th pick, the Duval Jacksonville Jaguars. So this one is a little bit of a pipe dream for me. I think we'll go more of exactly what we need versus like a secondary need like this pick. But man, I mean, if he's sitting there, Trevor Lawrence, had, a really great first year under Doug Peterson. I know we tagged him, but bro, let's get Dalton Kincaid here, tight end out of Utah. Get him a big receiving weapon. We were getting Calvin Ridley this season coming back from suspension. Pair Dalton Kincaid with Evan Ingram. Bro, this offense is going to be electric. AFC South winners. Let's get it.
I have them picking up someone who will make a terrifying trio on that defense with Trayvon Walker and Josh Allen. I have them taking Nolan Smith.
I love that too, though. I really do.
I have them taking a wide receiver the entire time up until now. I think they're going to go O-line here. I think they're going to take Anton Harrison out of Oklahoma.
I think that's a good pick too.
I have them what could be possibly the best defensive player on the board at this point for me. Given what you think here and there, I mean Brian Breesy's here as well. But I mean I really like this guy and also his counterpart who isn't really getting a lot of talk. I think this kid could actually be possibly a Pro Bowler his first year if he, especially in this defense. Brian Branch, safety out of Alabama.
That's one that's been on that's one that I've had locked in there for Jacksonville for quite a while because like he can play multiple positions in the secondary and Jacksonville needs secondary help desperately, and that's why I think we'll probably go secondary with this pick. So I'm just throwing out a pipe dream with Dalton Kincaid. My next mock, my final mock at 5.0 draft night will be very like this is actually what I think is going to happen. Some of these I do believe is going to happen. Some of these are like I'm going to throw this nugget out there into the world because I think it's a possibility, but there's probably another possibility that's stronger, like the Hendon Hooker thing. I think that's very plausible, but realistically, Tampa Bay will probably do something else. But I just wanted to throw the nugget out there that, hey, I think this could happen. And with Jacksonville, I think Brian Branch is, a real possibility, more so than Dalton Kincaid. I'd love Dalton. I'd love any of these picks you guys throw out there.
Like the other safety for Alabama is also in this draft, but he's not getting any talk. And I don't know statistically wise, but as far as eye test from how he played this year, Jordan Battle probably outplayed Brian Branch, at least from an eye test. Again, I don't know about stats or anything, but I mean, he's probably going to be a third-round pick.
Yeah.
By what I've heard. And he's just as good as what I've seen from Brian Branch. So I don't know if that's discounting Brian Branch or upticking Jordan Battle, but
apparently the league is not high on this draft for safeties. I've seen constant comments like this is a bad year to need a safety. So I thought that was an interesting little comment. It's a bad year to need a safety. All right, the New York Football Giants. I got them going Zay Flowers, wide receiver from Boston College.
This is where the slide for Miles Murphy stops.
Ooh. I like that pick, though. I really like that pick for the Giants. I have them picking up more protection for Daniel Jones. I have them taking Joe Tippmann from Wisconsin.
Love that one. I love Tippmann, man. Dude's a beast.
He's a monster, dude.
Love him. I hope he gets into the first. Dude deserves it.
I have them taking a player since they lost out on the battle of OBJ, and have them taking somewhat of a player that needs some work on some certain things. If this kid gets better in his route running and just doesn't just depend on his straight line speed on burning corners, that he may or may not be able to do a lot in the pros. He very well could be the best receiver in this class. Jalen Hyatt, or Wyatt, how you say his name, Hyatt.
I love Jalen personally.
Hyatt out of Tennessee. If he works on his route tree,
Yeah, his route tree needs to be expanded. If he expands his route tree, he could be the best receiver coming out of this draft, straight up.
Yeah, if he works on his route tree and his route running, kind of perfecting that a little bit more,
yeah,
I think he very well could be the best receiver in this class.
All right, 26th pick, the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry World. Who's coming to Jerry World?
I'm gonna let the Dallas Cowboy guys go second. I'm gonna go. Yeah. I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna go first.
Me and you will do ours first.
I want to get their thoughts on this pick.
Same.
Okay. Growing up, not really liking or disliking the Cowboys when they were good, when they're not necessarily winning playoff games, of course, but winning games and getting there.
Right.
They always had a tight end to depend on.
True.
Jason Witten.
Yep.
And they had a guy recently in Dalton Schultz that could have been that, but
I'm still pissed we let him go. I'm so fucking pissed.
But of course he is gone now. And it is time to get the next guy. Dalton Kincaid.
That'd be a hell of a pick for you guys.
It'd be a hell of a pick, but it would be a waste of a pick under Mike McCarthy.
That's true. Oh, that's fair. That's fair. For me, I also have you guys getting a weapon. I have you guys getting Quentin Johnson, wide receiver from TCU.
I like that. But again, it's Mike McCarthy's offense this year. So that's what really scares me about picking up offensive weaponry.
True.
But I love both the picks. I love them so much. And it would help out Dak tremendously.
So where are the Cowboys?
I'll let you have this one, Ricky.
I was going to let you have it because you're going to hate my pick.
And honestly, guys, I'm going to give you a name a little later in the draft that I was also thinking about putting here. And I want to get your thoughts on maybe him being there as well. But y'all can go ahead.
I have the Cowboys throwing a bone to Dan Quinn on that defensive line for him. They already have Sam Williams, they have Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, and Dante Fowler. They're gonna add one more. I said D line.
Oh, I thought you said this defense. Sorry.
I'm gonna throw one more name into that hat so they can get more rotation and just have constant, relentless pressure for all 4 quarters. Hopefully, I have them taking Kalijah Cansey here from Pitt.
Oh, that'd be such a pick.
If Kalijah Clancy is available, I love your pick way more than I do mine.
Yeah.
Who did you pick, Ricky? Who did you pick?
I want you to hear me out on this.
Because
I'm gonna stick with the first argument that I had.
Wait, is this who I think it is?
I have the Cowboys taking Bijan Robinson. Now hear me out on this. Hear me out on this. We just franchise tagged Tony Pollard. And hear me out on this. Jerry Jones is not going to make the same mistake twice. He's not going to give bukus of money to Tony Pollard. I think if Tony Pollard does not get the money he wants, he's going to walk next year. You have to have somebody ready to go. Bijan Robinson is that guy. Now, I could potentially, however, and that's why I think whoever it was with the Eagles that had the trade to get Bijan Robinson earlier, I didn't mention that earlier, but I could see that happening just so the Cowboys don't pick him up because Bijan Robinson's a Texas guy.
Just like Dallas Goedert.
Just like Dallas Goedert. Just like Dallas Goedert.
I'm just saying, I think if they don't take Bijan Robinson, they're going to take a running back like a Jahmyr Gibbs. They're going to take somebody that's not going to cost them a fortune at running back when they're already paying where they're already overpaying for Dak Prescott. I don't think they're going to let Tony Pollard walk, but they're not going to give him Zeke money, and they're not going to do it.
Well, okay, here's my argument against that pick, against the reasoning for that pick, I should say. While I wouldn't mind the pick, Tony Pollard has already stated that he is not going to be asking for a lot of money next year.
They said
Now it could change. It could change. Not saying it won't, but as of right now, he's not asking for a lot of money. I think that Tony Pollard will probably be our running back going forward for at least a few years, just because of how depleted a lot of these drafts have been, especially in recent years for running backs. And I don't know, man. I think Bijan's going to be taken way before this pick, unfortunately.
he could be, but if you look at the overall rankings, he's still down there, and there's not very many on this draft board who desperately need a running back. You could make the argument for Tampa Bay. You could definitely make the argument for Philly, which I could see Philly taking a Bijan Robinson, or at least trading up to take Bijan Robinson. I don't think they're going to use the top 10 pick for him, or the 11th pick, whatever pick they have. I don't think they're going to do that. But there's not many that are desperate for running backs right now. And now,
I've been seeing a team that's been tied to Bijan quite often. The Bills.
Yeah. So this is kind of what I want to tie in with Bijan, right? The only reason why overall on all these draft makers like the PFF or whatever has him at like 36 or 38, something like that. The only reason why he's that far back is because of the position that he plays.
Yep.
Not because of him. Everybody, every scout that I've watched on YouTube or ESPN or NFL Live or any kind of draft show or anything, every single one of them has said that they've spoken to owners and GMs and scouts and things. They think Bijan Robinson is not only a very good player, but a top 5 athlete, top 5 overall player in the draft. So when you do that, you're not just sitting. Technically, you're getting a running back, but you're getting an overall back. You're getting somebody that can block. He's gonna be able to hold you down all 3 downs. He's gonna be able to run between tackles. He's gonna be able to run outside. He's gonna be able to catch passes out the backfield. And I mean, you got Eagles can use a running back right now.
Seattle
could use a secondary back. K9 had a really good year last year, but can't have. Two backs is really what the meta is for the NFL this moving forward, at least in my eyes. Baltimore could use another running back. The Chargers with Austin Eckler being kind of iffy there. The Bills. The Bengals with Joe Mixon being kind of iffy. Like, there's so many spots that can be
very true,
viable for Bijan.
I 100% agree with you with the fact that it's literally just his position that is holding him back.
It is,
because
he's the biggest wild card this first round.
Back in 2016, when Zeke got drafted at number 4 overall, that is so rare for a running back to get drafted in the top 10, let alone in the top 15 or 20.
Hey, 2018 too. Baker and Saquon, 1 and 2.
Yep.
And I was also going to mention Saquon a while ago. Saquon said he wasn't going to reset the market, but yet they still franchise tagged him. And the one thing with running backs is, and especially with their position and everything like that, a running back does not last very long in the league at all. I think the average career now for a running back is 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
That is very, very low. And so, and like I said, I could see trades happening to try to get some running back help. But I still think they're taking a running back. I could be wrong. They could go D line. Now I'm telling you right now, Jacob, if Kalijah Clancy is still available, and Jerry Jones does not pick up Kalijah Clancy, I'm calling somebody down there. And be like, what the hell?
He's literally a Dan Quinn guy, man. He is the picture perfect Dan Quinn guy.
Exactly. And so yes, if Kalijah Clancy's still there, he better damn make sure he takes Kalijah Clancy.
You know who Clancy kind of reminds me of playing? He was a defensive end. He may have came out of Pitt, but I don't know. I know he played for the Lions for at least a rookie contract, but he was super good for him. He's like a Nigerian dude. I forgot his name. Played for the Lions. I can't think of it, but plays very similar to him. Long but very strong. Quick around the edge. Maybe some limited rushing moves here and there, but
Oh
very good.
God, he went top 5. He's from
Yeah.
BYU. Oh
Yep.
God,
Yep.
what was his? Yeah, he was like 4th overall pick from BYU. A shocker at 4th overall pick. I don't remember the draft year, but I know who you're fucking talking about. I just can't remember his fucking name.
That's who he reminds me of a lot. And he was good throughout his rookie contract. I know he ended up leaving the Lions, going somewhere, but he kind of fizzled out.
Ezekiel
after he left the
Anza.
Lions.
Ziggy Anza.
Yeah, Ziggy
Ansah.
Ansah.
Yeah,
Ansah. Yeah,
Ansah.
that's
Yep.
it. That's it.
Yep, that's who he reminds me of.
He's from Ghana, by the way.
I don't know. So long ago, dude.
All right, let's hop over 27th pick of the Buffalo Bills. I have them. There's a lot of different ways they could go here. If Bijan's there, they could go there. They could go linebacker. They could go offensive line. They go linebacker. I think Drew Sanders or Jack Campbell's possibilities. But with how things kind of played out for me, I got them going beefing up the interior offensive line with Osiris Torrance still there from Florida. The best interior lineman of the draft, in my opinion. Going here at number 27.
I have them taking exactly one of the people that you just named off. I have them taking Jack Campbell.
Love Jack Campbell so fucking much.
Same.
I have them taking one of 3 positions here, and of course, it's going to be the 3 that they need the most: running back, offensive line, or linebacker. Could see an edge or a defensive lineman here as well. But I think they really want to go defensive line here. On my board, you have Brian Breesy still here, but I still think in order to be a championship team, you need a fucking running back. You cannot have Josh Allen being your leading passer and runner if you're going to win a fucking playoff game. So I have them taking Jahmyr Gibbs with the 27th overall pick.
And Tyler Honeysuckle, I just want to point out that I'm so sorry to disappoint you, but I 100% agree with Shane.
Yep.
And the linebacker, here's the thing: if the Bills need a linebacker, I understand that. They're gonna have to trade for it because this linebacker depth is not very good in this draft. You could probably see someone in the 2nd or 3rd round for the Bills to get to try to fill that void. But I also have them getting Jahmyr Gibbs out of Alabama.
And let's be real, with going against the Chiefs and the games that they've had over the last 2-3 years, your defense is going to give up points against them no matter what.
Yep.
Regardless if you draft a defensive lineman, a linebacker, an entire fucking defense right here, you're going to give up points against Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
So why not get a weapon to equalize that?
That's such a great point that, people fail to realize when it comes to doing mock drafts is they're so it's like, oh, we got to stop this. We got to stop this. Yo, there are some teams in the league you just ain't stopping. All right. And it's going to be a very rare occasion. Let's be honest. Look at Patrick Mahomes' career. Besides that Super Bowl, has he ever been stopped like that? Like, I mean, yeah, sure, they've lost some games, but like stopped like that? That was a once in his career situation of where Tampa Bay was just next level and they were not going to lose no matter what. You know what I mean? Like that's one single game out of his career so far that's happened. Sure, he's lost some, right? Sure, that happens. But him shutting down, bro, that hasn't happened besides the Super Bowl. So that's such a great point that people need to remember is that sometimes you just need to get ready for a shootout, not try to hold them back. You know what I mean? Like that's a phenomenal point, truth be told. All right, Cincinnati at the 28th pick. So for me, Brian Branch will still be here. They left Jesse Bates walks. That's definitely a strong possibility. But I actually have them going tight end here. Michael Mayer, tight end from Notre Dame.
I have them taking offensive tackle Anton Harrison from Oklahoma.
I have them taking DeJuan Jones from The Ohio State University.
I hate that he's not in my first round this time, but he did slip out of my first. I love DeJuan Jones so much.
I have them taking one of 2 players here. I had them taking the safety from Texas A&M here, Johnson, or the player that I actually selected. With this guy falling this far, I don't think you can skip out on him. Tackle Darnell Wright out of Tennessee.
Okay. All right, 29th pick, New Orleans. I have Brian Brees here, defensive lineman from Clemson, beefing up that D line.
I have the same pick.
I have Broderick Jones out of Georgia going here.
I have someone making their first round debut. Defensive end from K-State, Felix Anaduke Ozama.
You did such a
I
better job with that.
Almost went with that pick too. I almost went with that pick.
You did such a better job at that name than I ever could have.
I had that pick, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah. I think he's a
3 weeks ago.
possibility to slide into the late first. I really do. I like him a lot.
I have the Eagles taking Broderick Jones, tackle out of Georgia.
Okay. All right, 30th pick. For me, it'd be Seattle here. I've got them going D-line, Mozzie Smith from Michigan.
Eagles for me. Will McDonald IV from Iowa State.
Eagles for me, Osiris Torrance out of Florida.
Okay. 31st pick, last pick of the first, boys. Kansas City. I've got them beefing up the offensive line here. Anton Harrison, tackle from Oklahoma.
I have them taking the one and only player at this position in the first round. Tight end, Dalton Kincaid from Utah.
Okay.
Michael Mayer is falling to mid-second round.
I think if he's there, he gets taken. But I think with all the hype behind Dalton, I don't think he'll be there anymore. So I have them taking still another skill position on the offensive side of the ball. Josh Downs, receiver, North Carolina.
I have them taking my favorite player off the board because with Tucker Kraft, you're gonna become a Super Bowl contender just like you would with Gardner Minshew going to Indianapolis. So, I've got Tucker Kraft coming up from all the way down. I don't know where he's actually projected at. I really don't know where he's at. No, I'm kidding. I do have Tucker Kraft going somewhere, probably in the third or fourth round. But no, right here, I've got the Chiefs taking Zay Flowers out of Boston College.
Okay. And also a little tidbit I want to throw out here at the end of the show. I just saw a news bit about this. Apparently, the Steelers have called the Bears about the 9th overall pick and the possibilities of working a deal depending on who's there at 9. Tackle.
Interesting.
It's tackle is what they're looking
Yep.
at. So, kind of an interesting little phone call there, in my opinion.
And you don't know how bad, Shane, when you were talking about the Bills and you were talking about Josh Allen, how much I held myself back on going on a rant about how the Bills are handling Josh Allen right now.
Yeah, I know.
All right. Well, 4.0 is wrapped up. Feeling pretty good about it. Like I said, next week we'll do full 7-round mock of just our favorite teams. So me, Bears and Jags, Jacob, Cowboys and the Bengals, Shane, Denver and Seattle, and Ricky, Dallas and who? Are you going to stick? Are you going to continue to stay with Vegas? Or are you going to move on? You going to come down to Duval?
Since they did not get Aaron Rodgers, I will stick with Vegas.
Okay. I want you to know, me and Jacob made a joke about that the other day on AniMan Plus, where I told Jacob that you were considering ditching the Vegas and getting a new number 2 team, and I told him, it's like, yeah, I'm trying to get him to be a Jaguars fan, and Jacob's like, I need to get him to be a Bengals fan. Then Jacob made the comments just like, Ricky's the hottest free agent on the market right now.
So that way I have an Ohio team and a Texas team, and he already has an Ohio team and a Texas team. I mean, hell, I could take the Bengals. They did. Who was it? I think Brandon Allen was their backup last year.
Yeah.
For the last 2 years.
You know what? Screw Vegas. I'm Bengals. Let's go Bengals. I'll take the Bengals.
Oh, come on.
It was that easy.
I'll take the Bengals.
Hey, at least he's staying true with his number 1. He flipped quick on number 2, but that's okay. They're number 2 for a reason.
That's because number two is a bunch of dog pile shit with Josh McDaniels running the game over there. So
That's fair.
So yeah, it just yeah.
Yeah, I don't blame any Vegas fan. Like, especially if you're just like Vegas is like your second favorite team. I don't blame anyone. Like, all right, yeah, I'm out of this ship. Like, I'm gone. I don't want to deal with this anymore. I definitely don't blame you there. So now a Bengals is number 2. Okay,
Number
you
two, we'll
and
take it.
Jacob, best buds now.
I just need to make him an Ohio State fan now.
That ain't ever gonna
yeah,
happen.
that'll never
Yeah,
happen.
good luck, bud.
Don't worry, I planted the seed like months ago at this point.
Right.
I mean, you did get him to say OHIO, and now
That
you're
is
getting him
true.
to say
That-
the
that-
Ohio
That is
State.
true.
This shit is toxic. We need to get Jacob out of here.
That is yeah.
Well, and also I'm kind of to blame on this. I kind of spread some of that toxicity. You know, I helped fuel it because I don't really have a hate for Ohio State. I mean, yeah, they're always good, and you always want to hate a team that's always good. Like it's just the nature of sports. But I don't know. I just really don't have a lot of hatred to Ohio. They're a team. They're there. I don't have a lot of I don't have a Big Ten team. If you put a gun to my head, told me to pick a Big Ten team, like who is my Big Ten team? I honestly don't know. I'd have to really think about it.
So look, Ohio State is the Big Ten team to root for. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Nobody really likes Michigan. Nobody cares about Wisconsin.
Yeah.
or
Fuck
any of the
Michigan,
rest of
Steve.
them. And so, but of course, you could make an argument for Michigan State for basketball, but not for football. But yeah, in a lot of retrospect, yes, it's Ohio State. It's just their fans that throw me off, not a Jacob fan. Because a Jacob fan has a little bit more realism than what a lot of Ohio State fans have.
Not much more.
Okay.
Not much more. Let's
Just
be real
saying.
here. Not much more.
When you're pissed, when your shit doesn't stink with Ohio State University, a lot of people treat Ohio State like their shit does not stink, y'all. I'm telling you, it's that bad. It's just that bad. I've seen the post, I've seen the social media, I've seen it all, and it's like Ohio State does no wrong. They will convince you that they should be in the top 4 if they win 0 games. If they go 0-12, someone will convince you Ohio State deserves to be in the top 4.
Steve threw out there in chat. Meanwhile, Ricky is snuggling with his Buckeye blankie on Saturdays as he watches the Razorbacks lose again.
The only thing,
Don't tell
The
nobody.
there's 2 reasons why me personally I don't like Ohio State. Well, 3. One being Urban Meyer. So let's get that out of the way immediately. 2 being that 2012 Sugar Bowl. Okay, and then number 3 is they think they're hot shit because they beat up on 8th grade schoolgirls every fucking Saturday.
Hold on now, man. The Big Ten is one of the most competitive conferences in the nation, but I
Yeah,
have a
only
special-
behind the SEC, the Pac-12, the ACC.
Whoa, whoa,
We're
whoa!
getting two
He
of the
threw
best
out
Pac-12 teams.
Pac-12.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's so yeah, Shane. I mean, as much as I want to agree with you on that, man, the Big Ten is probably the second toughest conference in the country. It's the second toughest.
What you don't know is that Alex sent me a script like 2 days ago and told me that I needed some more hot takes on the show, and I'm trying to help my producer, okay?
They give him this hot take. Say something about Miami. Say something big about Hawaii or something like that. You chose Ohio State.
Hawaii is going to win the national championship this year
Oh God, have mercy.
in men's
I do
volleyball.
have a special little announcement though for not next week, but right the stream for the draft, but before the draft takes place.
Okay.
So like the hour or so we're on before the draft starts. I'm picking a new second NCAA team.
Oh, you're abandoning
Already have one.
NIU.
Yep, I have been a fan for them for way too long, and it's time that I send them off into the sunset.
Okay.
My second favorite team now is Vanderbilt. The Go Commodores.
2 in the same conference. Come on, man.
I will have some hats and stuff hopefully set up behind me, and it'll be like a selection.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool.
But let's just take this all kidding aside, Jacob. You're starting to rub on me with this Ohio State stuff. I'm not gonna lie to you. Starting to rub off on me a little bit. It's starting to really rub off me.
Yes.
A lot of it is because, and I'm dead serious when I say this. A lot of it is because you are very realistic when it comes to Ohio State. You're the first fan I've ever met that's realistic about Ohio State. The one thing, though, Jacob, I'm telling you, the one thing, though, you might want to prepare for just a little slide next year.
Oh yeah, no,
Just a little
I'm
slide next year. I
I'm
don't think
preparing for it, but you know, I'm still I'm cautiously optimistic.
you could. I could see them going as far as third.
Life as a Razorback fan every year.
Ricky, I know what I'm getting you for Christmas this year, buddy.
What's that?
An Ohio State Buckeyes hat.
I will proudly wear it, sir. I will proudly wear it on the show.
Oh, what a legend. What
You
a
know what?
turnaround this is.
You know what? Screw it. Screw it. OH! Go, baby!
He did it. Let's go. With that, we're going to end the show. That's legendary.
We need to get Ricky admitted to a CAT scan and MRI. Maybe check his glucose and blood levels. We need to get this shit figured out. Okay, I can't have this. Two Ohio State fans. No, I can't. This can't happen.
You know what? Hold on. Hey, Jacob. OH. IO!
Shane, it's your turn.
No, not.
Come
doing
on.
it. Nope. As far as you'll get is the Ohio State from me. That's it.
Hey, you
And
know,
that's only because I respect that y'all win. That's it.
you got to respect that trademark.
Oh man, that is hilarious. All right, boys, we're gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna have to turn up the intro video. I guess my soundboard has frozen, which has never happened before, so I can't hit a button right now to turn on the music. ATFS.
It's the Ohio State curse, y'all. It's the Ohio State
Nah,
curse.
that one is trademark Sparky3 Tech Props. That's why we have a shirt for it in the merch store, sparky3shop.com. Oh man! All right, boys, we're gonna wrap it up. Yeah, next week, 1 and 2 favorite teams, 7-round mock, gonna be fun. And then after that, of course, we have the draft special. I'm already trying to line up some guests right now, so it should be a pretty good time. Boys, last word before we get out of here.
Yes, and I will be in studio for the draft.
Can't wait.
I will too. I'll be there.
I'm gonna sleep happy tonight. I'm gonna sleep like a little baby now.
All right, guys, let's get out of here. Have a good one. Until next time, bye.